Hey, Bill here with 30 Minute Woodshop. Thanks for joining. Today, I want to show you how to make a real quick and easy wood butter knife. Very simple to do. Matter of fact, I make so many of these things for friends and family that I made this little, probably can't see it. It's a plexiglass template. I don't normally make templates and jigs simply because most of my stuff is one-off, but these things everybody loves. And I have about 3 or 4 iterations of these things. I'm going to show you how to make just the easy one for spreading small stuff. So I have this piece of cherry, 3/4 of an inch thick, piece of scrap. All I'm going to do, I found a spot here where it fits perfectly, so I could use a lot more of the scrap. There's not much left over. I'll come over here and mark it out. So the back of this actually is straight, or pretty straight. Lay it in. So this is the beauty of using a template, is I don't have to come back and try and redo this all the time. So there we go. Pretty easy to do using a template. Now I'm just going to take it over to the bandsaw, cut it out. I got 2 things I'm going to cut out. I'll cut this shape out, but also from the top I'm going to kind of cut this back a little bit. And the reason I'm going to do that is simply because there's less sanding. So the more I can cut off of here to get it to look like a knife blade, the better off I am. And you can see I'm just doing this by hand. There's nothing really significant about it because the bulk of the work is done by sanding. So there we go. I'll be carving that up too. So all this stuff's going to go. Let's head over to the bandsaw. Okay, you can see the pattern here. It's going to be really easy to cut out of the bandsaw. So let's get started and make some noise. Okay, cut out fairly close to the line. Now I got to cut this part. Kind of narrow the blade down. And there you have it, ready to start sanding. So let's head over to the sander. I've got my peanut butter spreader roughed out, and I have my jam spreader roughed out. Now all I have to do is hit it with some sandpaper. So let's go over to the bench and do some hand sanding. Okay, all I'm running through right now is I'm going to go through, I have 80, 100, okay? I have 220, and I have some 400 here. So what this is going to do is it's going to take away all the sharp edges that are left over from the oscillating sander. So this is a really quick. It doesn't take a lot with this stuff on the cherry. So that's it for the 80. We'll go to the 100. And there you go. All the marks are gone. One thing you want to do right now is we're going to go to 220, but we're going to also raise the grain. So all I'm doing is putting a little water on this. And all this does is make the grain stand up. So when next time I sand it, it'll sand off all the furry bits. And all I want to do is get it damp. I don't want it wet. And then I'm going to dry it off with some paper towel. Get it mostly dry. And that'll just bring up all the little furry pieces. When I sand it this time with the 220, it'll get rid of most of that stuff, and we'll do it again with the 400. Okay, let's hit it with 400. Now notice I'm sanding the edge too. So I don't want this to be a sharp edge. I want it to be fairly dull. Because these are really just spreaders. They're not made for cutting. You might cut some, like I said, cut some brie, sauce, cheeses. But boy, you don't want to try and cut anything else. Don't be tempted to do that. Ooh, it feels nice and silky. Okay, so the finish we're going to put on these all right, 400. And the finish we're going to put on these, I'll grab it. It's going to be nothing more than a wax and oil. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, these puppies are just about done. All we got to do now is throw on some wax. This is a wax oil mixture, 6-to-1, along with a little bit of, well, what was it, 5 parts oil to 1 part wax, organic beeswax, to 1 part coconut oil, coconut butter. So, makes a really nice creamy coating. You can see how it goes on. Work it into the wood a little bit. I'll actually put on 2 coats of this stuff, but I won't bore you with that. And all this is going to do is provide some limited protection to the wood. If you're using these things, I would suggest that you reapply something like this. Either make your own or you can buy it. It's on my website, my Etsy store, if you need it. There's lots of other people make this stuff. But there you go. Now those are some pretty sweet spreaders. Like I said, one for peanut butter. It's a little deeper and stouter, so you get into the peanut butter jar, and one for jelly, because most jelly jars aren't that deep. So that's it. Let me show you how to use these things. Well, making this little knife was a really fun little project. Very quick. I used scrap. Did use the bandsaw and the oscillating belt sander to make this as quick as I did. So it takes about 15 minutes to make this thing. Super useful, all right? Matter of fact, they come together so fast. You can see I made, here's 3 more, plus I have several more in walnut too, because they're that easy to make and that useful. So these things are great because, you know, you can spread jams and jellies in the morning. You can spread all your various mustards. If you have specialty spreads, if you're doing charcuterie boards, perfect for that. Matter of fact, if you're doing butter boards, make up 3 or 4 of these for every butter board you make. People love it, especially when you tell them, hey, I made that. And of course, peanut butter. But I'd say this, if you're doing peanut butter, I would make the handle a little bit longer, all right? And I'd make it a little bit stouter because this stuff is pretty sticky. And of course, guys, if you're having cream cheese in your bagel, you really should be spreading that with something that you made. So, go out and make a couple of these things. Do me a favor, hit like and subscribe if you got something out of this. And hit more. Then check out my blog. There'll be a pattern in there for a couple of these things, a couple different styles, so you can check those out. And then there's also links to the tools and things that I use. So you may find those interesting or helpful. Hopefully that's the purpose of doing that. And hey, if you enjoyed it, like I said, hit like and subscribe. And until next time, good making.